Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Empower Sounds podcast. My name is Mahika, and today we are going to be interviewing the incredible Jasmine Sandouk and talking all about side hustles and how she made her side hustle that she started in uni into her full-time 9 to 5 job and her journey into entrepreneurship from creating her own brand to rebranding it to pitching for investment to sales to marketing to all of the steps in between whilst managing studies, a social life, and all the demands of a young woman. So stay tuned. I hope you learn, I hope you laugh, and I hope you enjoy. Amazing. Jasmine, welcome to the podcast. Can you please start by telling us a little bit about yourself and then take us back to the beginning? How did you start your idea for your jewelry business?
Yeah, so my name is Jasmine. Currently, I'm working on INTI Jewellery, which was previously known as Jazz Rings. Jazz Rings was a handmade Etsy small business side hustle. Did that on the in 24 hours. Created my own rings with wire and beads because I couldn't find rings that fit me. So I decided to make my own. And then, yeah, that's where Jazz Rings started.
And can you tell us a little bit more about your creative process and why you decided to make jewelry your side hustle as well, like instead of just making jewelry for yourself?
Yeah, so I started it all just because I couldn't find rings that would fit me, like I said. How I did it was just with in terms of creative style, I literally just watched a YouTube video and then I just found like everything that I needed. I was very into crystals and manifestation, not as much now, a little bit. So then I focused on crystals and then I grabbed the crystal and then made the ring like that. And then in terms of jazz rings, everything was just like they had that handmade aspect. So you could kind of see that it was handmade, with the rings as well, with the earrings, and then necklaces. We use beads. In terms of Inti, because we're gonna be we are rebranding. That's all like in terms of creativity, that's all stuff that I like. It's stuff that I think people would like. Um, so yeah, that's really it.
When you started your business, you started in uni. So what was that kind of like? And how did you kind of navigate this whole having a side hustle with your studies? And what did you study? And did it complement your business? And what was the journey with that whole thing?
Yeah. So yeah, I started my business in 2020 or 2021, end of 2020, so the 31st of December. And I was in uni, I studied marketing. So it did really go into it, I guess, like marketing and business. Yeah, I really liked my course. It was really good, it was fun. I love anything creative and designing and social media, all of that, marketing vibes. Um, and I literally just started it in my dorm. Well, I was on Christmas holiday for a bit and then I went to my dorm and then in my dorm for my birthday, I actually asked for like a storage unit to put all my like beads and all my, wire and creative stuff. So I got that for my birthday and I had that in my dorm. So my little desk in my dorm room was just all of that. And like my room was filled with beads all the time. It was a struggle and so messy sometimes. Even till this day, there's beads hidden behind my wardrobe and everything. Um, but yeah, so that's really it with the marketing. It does really go into jazz rings and Inti, which I'm really grateful for because I didn't know I was going to do this business. Like I said, it was a small side hustle, for my own good and my own personal struggle. And now it's turning into a big business. And I'm really excited to see where it grows.
That's really exciting. And in terms of like starting a side hustle at uni, university has a lot of time demands in terms of work, in terms of social life, in terms of I don't know if you did any societies as well, but like usually that's part and parcel of uni experience. How did you juggle all of that with your growing side hustle? And like you said, it's grown into this big business and it's now your full-time thing. So how did you balance all the demands of uni life and entrepreneurship and starting something that you were very new in?
Yeah. I'm a really like to-do list type of girl. So I need to organize what I need to do that day. So when I wake up, I normally just like write a to-do list. What I need to do, if it's the smallest thing, like shower, paint my nails, like the smallest little things, I write it down so I know that I have to do that. So in terms of uni work, I'll just do my lectures, focus on it. Uni was always my number one priority, just because it was a small side hustle, and uni was my main. So I had to focus on that. It was quite hard doing both, but again, with time management skills, it was all right. And yeah, it was still small. It was still a small business at the time. Um, but yeah, that's really when how I manage my time with that. In terms of, I didn't do any societies. I had like a few and then I dropped out. So that's really with that. And then in terms of now, how I kind of manage with INTI, when I had a job, which was, I think I quit like 2 months ago. When I had a job, it was really hard to like balance that my small business and a job. Like my manager wasn't that supportive as well. So I had to like for events and everything, network events, I just had to go and but meantime, I was working full time. So it was hard to like go to events after work and everything because my job was like 12 to 12. So it was a big hours. Um, but yeah, so like I just had to quit, honestly, to like focus on that business. I know it's not something everyone can do, but I did do it.
What was that step like, quitting your job and kind of leaving the security of full-time employment and fully diving into like your project?
It's a scary thing to do. It was, yeah, it was pretty scary. All I knew like was just like I'm gonna do this. Thankfully I'm living at my parents' house right now. So I don't have any more like bills to pay, although still need to pay them, you know. But I'm still living there. I have a little bit of security with that. I don't have like current monthly payments I need to be doing. So yeah, I'm really blessed with that opportunity just to like be able to quit my job and be secure. Again, financially, not the best thing I could have done. Still looking for like a good job, maybe like part-time. But that was an option. That wasn't an option where I was working. It was full-time or nothing. So yeah.
Yeah. And now, how does it feel to be taking your side hustle that you started in uni into like your now 9 to 5, now your full-time project? Like, what have you done to change it to like make kind of grow? And can you talk us through the journey of how it went from jazz rings into what it is now?
Yeah. So right now, like it's nice to have like a inti as my 9 to 5, I guess. It's more like 24 hours. Everything's like working. I'm like, oh, that'd be good for inti. That'd be good for that TikTok. I'm like, oh, I could do some inspiration with that and take it with inti. Um, yeah, it's really cool. It's really empowering as well. And it's like you feel like a girl boss a little bit. And then with wait, what's the other question?
It was, can you tell us about the journey from the start to now?
So yeah, Jazz Rings to Inti was honestly, yeah, kind of unplanned. So again, small side hustle, creating in my dorm room, like literally just for myself. And then I decided to post a TikTok on Tik I tried to post a TikTok on TikTok and that went semi-viral with like over 180K views, I believe. Um, so that kind of like made Jazz Rings at the time. They asked for the rings, I supplied, custom demand, and then I'd create an Etsy page from there. It was really, you can really tell by the name Jazz Rings. It was very, you know, a small side hustle. I wasn't planning on anything. My name's Jasmine and I sell rings. Combine that together, Jazz Rings, there we go. Um, and yeah, so like that's how Jazz Ring kind of started. We grew to, make more products. Just everything I gained from that in terms of money, I invested it back into my business and then just kind of grew that along the way. Took a little pause for a bit in summer. And then I decided I want to, branch out to networking events and funding because I wanted to make this business bigger and bigger. So I decided to change, well, rebrand. So I decided to think of a name. Um, and that's how I came with INTI Jewellery. INTI, so I'm half Syrian, half Peruvian. INTI means son of God in Peru in Spanish. And then in Syria, in Arabic, Enti means you. And that's like kind of like the representation of my jewelry. Like you're wearing it, you, it's all about you, empowering you. And then for Son of God, Son is like positive, and that's how the jewelry wants to make you feel. So that is literally how I got the name. And then I decided like the color palettes, I've decided on, the branding, all of that, which was a really good process, really fun as well. The non-fun parts was the legal and the finance. I hate those parts. It's so annoying. But again, still trying to learn. And then I decided um, with that rebranding process to actually apply to one of my uni fundings courses that they did. So it was a business launchpad. I did that and then I competed against, I think, 5 or 6 other people in front of 6 judges, and I won that one. So yeah, I won the funding, which was I think 1K. And then I went to FFE, um, and they also did a mentoring and funding pitch deck night. The mentoring festival was amazing. I got Maya Mango. She's amazing. Still in contact with her. Like generally one of the best like networking events or entrepreneurship thing ever. Like really recommend it. And then we did the funding, like the pitch deck, and then I won that one, which was again 1K, I believe. Um, so yeah, that was really helpful. Like, just having those fundings towards my business has gone so far. I can create a Shopify website, which I created now, changed all my Instagram, got a graphic designer with that money, and then obviously used the rest for like products. I've got my first sample out as well, available to pre-order. Is my first ring, and then like all the other products coming soon will be used with that money. And then I've also recently gone to a cohort event. So it's called Levels, 2020 Levels. And that's also to do with funding and networking and mentoring. And I also won that one. So I'm actually 3 out of 3 right now. And it just gives me a lot of like, what's the word? Like, gives me a lot of hope and motivation for my business, seeing that I won the 3 out of 3 funding pitch decks that I've done. And using that money all towards INTI, like I'm gonna create such a good brand with that, and I'm so excited for the future.
Thank you for sharing that. There's so much to unpack. And I want to actually start with the whole pitching and funding because to everyone who's listening, I actually met Jasmine at one of the pitching events that she did. And I was talking about how I'm going to start this podcast. And Jasmine was talking about how she's going to rebrand her side hustle jewelry business. And here we are recording this. So it's very full circle. And I remember sitting there and listening to your pitch and thinking, wow, this girl is so compelling. Like, this is such a good story. And it was the way that you communicated your story and your mission behind your brand and your values. And everyone in that room, like this, they stopped touching the free food that the pitching event had organized for us. And they like well, all eyes were on you. And it was really like a moving experience to watch. So can you please give advice on how you are such a good storyteller and how you kind of sell yourself and your business for other people that are thinking of starting their side hustles or might have to get funding? Because in the UK at least, more men called David than women receive funding, and women need to be going to these events more and asking for funding more, and it's hard. So how do you do it?
Yeah, so definitely if you need like anyone from London that needs any funding, networking events that they need to go to or just can't find any, because that's like the main source is that you can't find anything. Definitely reach out to me. I actually do marketing. So I have have a little business called Make Marketing Easy. So I help with business coaching and marketing. So if you need anything, just let me know. It's at Making Marketing Easy. Um, but yeah, in terms of funding, oh, every time I present, like I'm the worst. I feel like I'm really bad at it. Presenting, I'm so bad, but clearly not if I won 3 out of 3. But I get so nervous, I get so shaky, I get so scared. I'm like huffing and puffing before I'm like sweating. But once I'm up there, I'm fine. Like I don't know why. It's just that lead up towards it. It's just all in my head. Um, in terms of making it easier and like storytelling, honestly, first of all, like to make it easier, breathing, relax, do whatever you need to do, take a shot if you need to take a shot. Like I don't know what you have me to do. And then also for storytelling, what I just say, if you have a good business, it's gonna be easier for you to do that. And for you to tell your story and your why and like your purpose and your problem and your solution, that's like the main 4 aspects that they're looking for um to win like a funding event or a pitch deck. It's just your story, your why, and then your problem and your solution. I guess that's just really it. But yeah, if you have a good why, like I did, all came from personal reasons and a little backstory to tell, then you're set.
Yeah, and I think aside from the story as well, your presentation was so detailed and it was so meticulously planned out of how you're going to structure the business and what you're going to do with the funding. I think it was really compelling for the investors. So once you actually got the investment, I mean, you've got 3 investments, like that's incredible. 3 out of 3. Wow, well done. How did you feel? And then how did you continue to maintain the relationship with your investors and really like make sure that everything was like used the best it can be, and not only kind of using the financial resources but kind of their guidance as well in like how to grow your business?
Yeah, so I'm still in contact with Ala and Maya, which was my mentor as well. Um, and in terms of the other teams, like I'm in contact with them still. And LinkedIn, Instagram, email, literally WhatsApp, those 4. Just you have them on on that, and you're so good. Like just anything, any question, they're so happy to help you. Like in terms of mentors, they are so happy to help you. They've been where you have been before. So like they know you're struggling. They will answer a simple question. To them, to you it's so hard, but to them it might be so easy. And in terms of just asking like a simple question, they're happy to help you.
I want to ask you also about, you mentioned your marketing business, and I think that the way that you've marketed your brand has been really, really interesting. So can you please share a little bit more about your marketing strategy and how you've used social media to implement and grow your business?
Yeah. So I have a first degree in marketing, and I just use that towards my business. So in terms of, I guess it's more like the back end marketing degrees are more back end. So it's just like talking about KPIs, SEOs, all of that. Um, for in terms of my marketing strategy for INTI, it's just following the trends and algorithm. On TikTok, I'm scrolling through it and I'm just thinking, oh, that's a trend. Save that audio. I'm doing that later. Same thing with my first video that went viral on jazz rings. It was literally a trend on matching best friend rings. They were doing like but designer. So they would have like matching Dior rings, but I was at matching best friends rings, but a broke edition because my jewelry is affordable and handmade. So that's how it kind of just, spun literally just a trend into my business style. Marketing posts like, or in the future, my marketing strategy is going to be posting like stories, feelings, emotions, so emotional marketing instead of like product marketing, because that is like known to like people just don't want to be sold things and just don't want to see like, oh, here's an item, buy it. You want a story behind it, you want to feel that emotion, you want to connect to it. So that's my marketing strategy next. Like the same thing as Red Bull. They give you a feeling, they show you how you feel when you're drinking Red Bull and not like its product images. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit my marketing strategy.
Thank you for sharing that. And also, how have you stayed consistent with the whole thing in terms of marketing? Also, like making sure that you're what's it called, posting content consistently, but also with your business, like you have to be the one that consistently makes the jewelry, packages the jewelry, sells the jewelry, make sure that the customers are happy, make sure that everything is in order. And how do you like when you have an idea and when you first come up with a side hustle, it's exciting, it's new and everything. When you get your first sale, it's exciting, it's new. But I'm sure at some point it kind of became a bit mundane and now it's your full-time thing. I'm sure there's days where it's just like, oh, okay, this again. So how do you maintain your consistency and discipline and kind of motivation?
Yeah. So with motivation, it's quite hard. Like I said, to-do list, my best friends, just write everything that I need to do. Um, Everything in a week as well. Like so stuff that I'm just like not really wanting to do, write it down to make sure I get it done. Motivation in terms of like um marketing, it's not as bad just because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy marketing. So I feel like that side is quite easy for me. I have so many jobs like as a small business owner in one, accountant, finance, legal advisor, I'm packaging, I'm customer service. Like I have so much to do. But again, I just love my business and I love everything about it. So nothing like that doesn't seem boring to me. I'm excited to like pack yours. I'm excited to speak to customers. I'm excited to like create a new website design. Yeah, so like it's not like anything bad to me. Like I just enjoy it so much, which I'm thankful for. Um, yeah, nothing really.
That's really nice. It's really, you can really hear in your voice how like passionate you are about your business, and it's really awesome. And as someone who has to do so many things and you have multiple roles, how like can you share a story of like how your confidence grew as a person, kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and being like, yeah, I can do this, you know? How has that kind of experienced and shaped your sense of self?
Yeah, so the main like aspects of where I like kind of grew and like realized, oh yeah, I actually can do this and like the motivation have been like the networking events and the pitching decks I've been doing. They first of all step out your comfort zone so much. I even went to a network event in Excel. It was called the Jury Show. That like I went by myself and I like was talking to people. Something I would never do if I wasn't a small business owner. So just small things like that had just like grown my confidence a lot. Talking to other people and having like business friends and like that also is really inspiring because you're next to motivational and inspiring people as well, and they're like-minded people. So everything that you're saying, they're agreeing and they know that I struggle. So just being around people like that is such a blessing and such a nice feeling to have. But yeah, definitely friends, events, them too.
For sure. And you touched on the whole friendship aspect of it. And I think like business friends is something that's really interesting. But also, you started this business out of university. And I'm sure you had your existing friend group and your existing kind of sense of self and routine and everything. And I'm sure that as your business grew, that kind of changed as well. And so, how would you say, or would you say, your friendships, relationships with yourself, with your time, have changed since you're now a small business owner and entrepreneur?
Yeah. In terms of like friendship and like family, they've like before my business and now all been so supportive. Like especially my mum and dad when I won the recent funding, the 2.5K, I got like a big check. And then they also know like I was doing the pitch deck and then they knew I was so nervous for it. And then I came home and my mum thought I lost because I didn't say anything. I didn't message her the whole day. But then I came home with a massive check that says 2.5K Jasmine Sandouk. And then she started like screaming, nearly cried. My dad too. Like it was so sweet. They're also supportive. My friends were like the first, like my best friends were like the first buyers of jazz rings, which is also so cute. Like they were there since the beginning. Probably like the first ever customer that I've had. Yeah, everyone's just been incredibly supportive, family, friends, amazing. Even the people that I've like talked to now, um, just like love the business and love what I'm doing and always just happy for me. Again, the only people that, are not that supportive are the people that don't want to see you grow. And to me, that was like my old job. That's why I moved on. But yeah, everything like that. There was some people though that stayed, truly motivated like me and everything. But yeah.
That's nice. It really reinforces how your your whole business is supported by your community and how you kind of created a community around that as well. And speaking of community, you mentioned earlier that you're half Syrian, half Peruvian. Apart from the name of your rebrand of INTI, how else has your heritage influenced the creative aspects of your design? How else has your kind of like culture influenced your business?
Yeah, so in terms of Peru, we're actually trying to get a supplier out there. So it is like more like ethically sourced in Peru. And then in terms of designs, we're gonna just try and incorporate like the Inti, because the Inti has some Aztec signs and symbols that we want to incorporate in the jewelry. And with Arabic as well, we want to incorporate like, personalized names and incorporate stuff like that, maybe even the Middle East, like, countries, so like the Syrian country, Lebanon, all of that, and we want to create that into jewelry as well. So definitely in the future, Peru and Syria will have a bigger impact on Inti jewelry than now.
That's awesome. I also want to ask you about, speaking of Syria, when you pitched, you mentioned your passion for charity and how you've always been someone who's been really invested in giving back and how you've worked with Islamic Relief and you've been in part of the charities committee growing up in school and everything, and that you want charity and giving back to be part of your business. So how have you and how are you planning to incorporate it in your business going forwards?
Yeah, so previously with Jazz Rings, I think it was 10% went to Syrian relief. So every ring purchase, 10% of that would go to the Syrian charity relief. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough for, for people in Syria, which I'm happy for. In terms of like my like in year seven, yeah, I was in the charity committee. We'll do bake sales, we'll do Grenfell Tower, like when that happened. Um, Anything was to do with charities. We had like a little charity called Southwest West, incorporated in that. It was amazing. It is really a good feeling to give back, and I really do want to incorporate that into INTI Jewellery. Now with everything that's going on with Palestine, definitely want to incorporate that. Have something to do with, charity aspects. I just believe it is just a big thing that needs to be addressed. And some businesses are just, pushing that side away. I want to address it. Especially Palestine and Syria. That's a big, aspect of my life. Like that's really close to me. Growing up, obviously I'm Syrian and growing up I've known so many Palestinians. So just that infecting it is just crazy. And I definitely want to help as much as I can. If I do have the platform, I believe that I should be helping.
And do you think there's anything that you can say to our listeners to help them like encourage consuming in a way that's more ethical and sustainable? Because some people just don't know. So how can people who are also passionate about the same causes get involved with INTI, but also do you have any other small businesses that you can recommend from your community that people can get in touch with and work with?
Yeah, definitely keep on lookout on my stories. I post so much about that on there. In terms of like brands, there's some brands that you can boycott, just that don't support Palestine. There's some that always and will always talk about Palestine. One that comes out to my mind is Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty is known to just support Palestine through and throughout. Um, any small businesses, there's probably so many. There's so many, just I can't name them right now, but just do a little research and then it's there. If you want, I can post more of my story on everyone that supports Palestine.
And I will add some into the show notes if that's something people are interested in. So linking back to like values and your core values, apart from charity, your two other core values are sustainability and inclusivity. So I want to talk a little bit more about the sustainability side of your business. So what steps have you taken to make INTI sustainable?
Yeah. So right now, in terms of INTI Jewellery, we're using old packaging. So that was bought from the Jazz Ring side. So right now, we're using like the purple branding. Even though it doesn't fit in with INTI's branding, we're still using it just because we want to reuse that and not just throw it away. Small things like that we just want to incorporate. In terms of like bubble mailers, um, just in terms of all packaging, we want to make that fully recyclable as well. Just yeah, just like that. In terms of suppliers and everything, we want to get one in Peru and we want to create it. We want to go see it. We want to, go to the factory and see how that's done and everything like that. And then in terms of handmade section, again, we're doing that all ourselves. And then we also want to in the future create our own rings, like with metals, so like gold and silver again, but we want to create in-house, which right now we don't have the space for that, but soon in the future.
That's very exciting. And in the meanwhile, can you talk us a little bit more through like how the creative process actually works? Like how do you make the jewelry?
Yeah. So in terms of the handmade, so there's obviously the handmade and the luxury. The handmade section is wire, beads, and then my appliances, so my tools that I have. It's really simple to make. Some people struggle, but I think it's quite easy. And then I literally just make it. I watched like 10 seconds of YouTube video and I got the hang of it in 1 second, but it is really cool to make. It's like your own creative decision. So obviously I'm talking about a simple like crystal ring or a beaded ring. It's quite simple to make. In terms of like the not adjustable, elastic rings, that's also quite easy to make. You just have to like design it, think of what you like. Um, yeah, just have like honestly playing with stuff and just see what I like and what I don't like. And then once I make that ring, I'm like, oh, that's cute. I should sell this. I think other people would like it. Then I post it on my website. In terms of Inti, I literally just I like sketch out stuff on my little notepad. And then I'm like, wait, this is cute. And I'm like trying to like, I play with it for hours and hours. And I'm like seeing if I like that design or not. And anything that like catches my eye, like I love the evil eye. So that's the first ring that I have out. I created a signet, well, kind of a signet ring for it. It's like a female version, I guess. And yeah, it's a simple evil eye ring, but I love it and it means so much because of the actual meaning of an evil eye, which is protection.
That's really beautiful. And can you tell us a little bit more about the inclusivity and how you've made your rings adjustable and the sizing aspect of it? Because that is so part of your story and like it's like the whole idea behind jazz rings.
Yeah, so that is our USP, so our unique selling point. Other brands go up to US 9. So they go up to like a 5 to 9, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We go up to a 5 to a size 14. So 9 and 14 is a big scale to have. Um, we might go even bigger than that. Um, so that is like the biggest part of our business, obviously, because from personal experience, I couldn't find any rings that fit me. So I wanted to make sure that people have rings that can fit them as well. In terms of Inti, the two problems that we're trying to face and our solutions is the sizing and style. So in terms of style, we would find the rings that would fit us. Well, I would find rings that would fit me, and they would just be so ugly. Like in Pandora, there would be like a green band ring, there'll be like a rose gold ring. And personally, I just did not want that. I want something cute and stylish, like seen on Pinterest and TikTok and all of that. And I couldn't find anything. So I decided to create my own. And that's how like that started. In terms of inclusivity, we want to make sure everyone has a comfortable and stylish fit to our jewelry. Um, and yeah, we want to make sure everyone just has an easy process of just buying rings because it is hard to have. And we want it accessible as well. In terms of necklaces and bracelets and anklets, that's also going to be available to like resize and to adjust as well.
That's really, really nice. And because like we talked about, you make the jewelry and it's adjustable, and you said that you learned using YouTube and you said it was easy. How do you ensure that the quality is really good on all of your stuff and making sure that like your customers are happy with it and that it's like a serious business product and not just like kind of DIY, you know?
So with jazz rings, we use aluminium wire, which is tarnish free. Everything will never turn your skin green. So I've tested it. I'm still wearing it right now. This is the jazz rings version, I call it, the handmade, and this is the luxury. So both of these will never turn your skin green. I've been testing it, I've been trying it out. Family and friends have been wearing it and they've told me never turn their skin green. So that is a guarantee. Um, of course, this one's like gonna be a different, like it depends on style really. It depends if you like this one or this one better. This one's a bit cheaper, well, way cheaper because it's just aluminium and wire. And then this one is silver. So yeah, it's just like it depends on what your preference is. If you want a more affordable option or you want a more luxury item, that's why we have both. We have the handmade versus luxury. So anyone can shop at INTI Jewellery.
That's really nice. And are you going to change anything about your production process now you're rebranding and you're kind of going more towards the luxury side of jewelry?
Yeah, so in terms of the handmade, we're just going to do a few rings and a few earrings and necklaces. We're not going to have a lot just because in terms of production, if we do go bigger and bigger, it's going to be harder to do as a, one man sale. Hopefully we do have stuff by then. But yeah, creating rings are just not going to be as much as what we have now. It'll probably be like 3 or 4 rings up there. Um, but yeah, always have that little option of affordability and then the luxury. Hopefully, again, if we have more staff and like that, then we can bring more affordable and handmade options.
That's really interesting. And in terms of like we've talked about the rebranding throughout this whole episode, but for people who don't actually know what that entails, what has that process been like? From like a logistical aspect, but also like you had customers, you had a community. How have you made them all kind of stick and stay and be like, guys, like we're all moving to this new vision
Yeah.
together, kind of thing?
Yeah. So for the logistics, it's terms of like actually, you know, um, getting my business name there, buying it, making my business an actual business. That is just the one thing, getting a business account, all of that, like small things that I needed to do to actually have a business has been done. It was a process. Again, I had a mentor which helped me so, so much, and I definitely recommend. They have been amazing. They take you through the small things that you don't know. And if you have any dumb or silly questions, it's not dumb or not silly, and they can help you. Um, in terms of the like an audience and like production, all of that. TikTok, Instagram, like all social medias have been a blessing. Like creating my story from what it was jazz rings to INTI Jewellery and taking my customers through that whole journey of the rebranding journey. So posting on Instagram stories, even posts, and even creating TikToks and reels on just like, guys, I'm creating a business, I'm rebranding my business today. All of that has been like helpful as well to like bring my customers from point A to B.
That's really cool. And it's really nice that you've grown with your business. Like you started in uni and now it's a full-time job and it's now turning into this incredible, amazing endeavor for you. So looking ahead, what is the future of Inti? Like what is the legacy that you intend to leave behind? And like what are some specific milestones that you're excited about going forwards?
Yeah, so in terms of INTI, I want everyone to feel comfortable, inclusive, feel empowered wearing the jewelry. Yeah, definitely again feeling comfortable because sick of adjustable rings, like we need to get away with those. They get caught in my hair all the time. But yeah, in terms of INTI's growth, really want in the next like few years, I want to obviously hire staff, grow the INTI team, more expand my product line, so way more products, even hopefully men products by then. And then also like the dream goal is to have like a little concession in Selfridges or Harrods. I feel like that would be like a big, oh yeah, I made it. That's like the main goal.
Well, we're manifesting it for you. So, my last question for you, and I always like to end with the theme of gratitude, is what are you most grateful for in this moment?
I'm so grateful for like everyone that's been supporting my business, number one, supporting whether buying or just saying like your business is like good, it's amazing, whatever it is, like just saying, yeah, just saying like um how they think about my business and all the positive things that they're saying and that I can do and all of that. That's like one thing I'm probably the most grateful for, because if it wasn't for them, I'd think I'll overthink in my head, thinking this is not really going to go anywhere. And people that believed in me in terms of like mentors and funding wise has just like, boost my confidence a lot for INTI. And I'm really happy to like just see where it's going to go.
That's really exciting. Thank you so much for sharing everything with us today. Your insights are incredible. It's so cool seeing how you're able to grow your side hustle into this big thing and like incorporate not just your ideas but your values into your business. So I think it's a big inspiration to everyone who's thinking of starting something. And I'm really lucky to have met you and to have had this conversation with you. I'm going to link all of the links for INTI, for your socials, and for all the links that you send me in the notes. But for anyone who's still listening, where can they find you?
Yeah, so INTI Jewellery at INTI Jewellery and everything. intijewellery.co.uk is the website as well. Yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Sounds podcast. If you like the show, please rate and review it and follow the podcast Instagram at Empower Sounds to let me know what you want to hear. I will see you next week.